Hello, this is Nicholas Tanek from YourKinkyFriends.com, and I have a wonderful guest to us today. He is absolutely amazing. She runs the House of E, and she runs the Fluffy Boudoir. We're going to talk about sissy. We're going to talk about transformation. We're going to talk about love and going on tour. Please welcome the wonderful, the magnificent Dominatrix. Say hi.
G'day, g'day, g'day. This is Dominatrix V.
All right, so for those who haven't seen the full interview, tell us a little bit about it.
Okay. So the volume here is still a little bit funny, so can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, I'm Dominatrix V, and I've been up since 3:30 this morning. I'm a professional dominatrix, going on 15 years now. I run a service called Fluffy Boudoir, which is a sissy and cross-dressing service. And the past 12 months, I've introduced a new service, which is fetish haircuts. And that's been keeping me quite busy, so I'm very happy.
Do you do the haircuts yourself?
Yes, well, I'm a qualified hairdresser and barber. I did my apprenticeship like over 20 years ago. And it's been quite popular with what I do with Domina V, and yeah, it's just keeping me quite busy, and it's really, really fascinating and exciting as well.
Now, okay, long. Although I've been long in the past. So what would you do with my hair if you wanted to be specified?
What would I do with your hair?
Yeah.
I missed the last bit.
If I wanted to be sissified.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, those type of clients don't actually come in for hair services. The type of clients that come in for the fetish haircut services are not sissies or cross-dressers. But if you were to come in, I would probably just put a wig on you. Yeah, like my fetish haircut services are more for my barbering service. I tie them up to this chair, and I can either give them a crew cut if that's what they want, but a majority of my clients are all married or have partners, so not all of them can go home with no hair. So I do give them a good haircut, and even a trim if that's what they want, but also incorporate the fetish side of it. And they're all different. Everyone's got a different fantasy. Yeah, so that's a lot of fun.
What do you use to tie them up?
Well, I've got leather cups here on here. I do have rope. I've got that rubber tape. It just depends on what they ask for, really. Just depends. I do have a wide selection of belts that go right around the chair as well, because some people like the leather belts and I can easily tie them up. Some people just like ropes. Yeah, it just depends. Some people like to be smothered in lots of capes, you know, the hairdressing capes. There's a fetish for that. That's a bit of cape bondage, I think. Yeah.
Now, what gives you the idea? Because doing fetish haircuts is medical play, there's regular fendom, but giving haircuts is something pretty original, something I haven't really heard about since I've met you. So, like, what gave you this idea?
What gave me the idea?
Yeah.
Well, I've been with my hairdressing and my Domina V side. I've always had those two jobs going ever since I started hairdressing. So I've always had a normal job in a salon, and I've always done the doming side of things. So I think the way it started was probably about over a year and a half ago. I was working in Sydney, and I had a client who contacted me saying, "Wow, I found out that you're a hairdresser, and I have a hair fetish." And he wanted me to be his auntie, and he was my nephew, and he wanted to come in and have a punishment haircut where he's tied to the chair, and that's where it started off. I sort of really wanted to keep it all separate, but I just getting a lot of requests for it. So yeah, that's how it started.
Interesting. Now, do you ever give like bad haircuts on purpose as punishment?
Yeah.
And what is
Well,
the
okay, so a lot of them, they can't go home with really bad haircuts. So if they've got a fair amount of hair that I can play around with, I'll incorporate with the role play, and I might just make a mess of it on one side, um, but and use it as the role play. But before they go home, obviously I have to fix it up. So there's no one walking out with a bad haircut. But then you get the corporate punishment one. You get the guys who like the corporate punishment where they're happy to go home with what do you call it? Do you call them buzz cuts or crew cuts?
Oh yeah, buzz cuts. That's a big.
What do you buzz cuts? Yeah, we call them crew cuts. So some of them can, so they'll grow it for the session, and then that gives me a fair bit of hair to take off with the clippers, and it just makes it a lot more fun. But when they can't go home with funny style, then it sort of makes it a bit tricky. But that's where all the acting comes into it. So I sort of pretend that I'm making a mess at the back, but I'm not.
What's funny is that how a hair so much into image. Some, for example, I live with my dad, and if I get my hair cut, she punishes me. She likes
Okay,
good
good
my
one.
hair. When I go down on it, that paddle comes out. She's like,
Well, that's good. Good for you, huh?
all right, let's talk about the sissies and the cross dressing and so on. I personally love sissy. Love it. I love the transformation of it. I love the outfit. I don't live at 24/7 or anything like that, but I really love it and respect it. What do you think it is? What do you think it is? Sissification that attracts so many people because it's huge. The fetish is huge. What do you think it is about that attracts so many?
Why do I think it attracts so many people? Is that what you said?
Yes. Well, let me break down the question.
Yeah, sorry, it's just the volume is not the best.
Okay. What is it about that it attracts men? And then what is it about it that attracts women to participate in it? Because it's
Oh,
hard. It's lonely for a cross dresser or a wannabe sissy to find a woman. you know.
Yeah.
But the women like you who seem to like it, women who I know personally who seem to like it, and they're hard to find. So let's talk about the men.
Okay.
What is it about the sissification, you know, that attracts so many,
So many men.
yeah, to want to be sissy?
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, that's a good question. Well, I guess, all men have a feminine side as well as women do have a masculine side, but with some men, they're a little bit more feminine. And I guess, it is a fantasy, and for a lot of them, it comes from, with my clients, it comes from something when they were younger, something triggered them, or something happened, and throughout their adult life or throughout their teenage life, they explore it, and as they get older, they seek out someone like me. So that's coming from a cross-dresser's view. But I think when it comes to um, men who actually want to live it as a lifestyle, I think that sort of comes from, I don't know, maybe when they're a lot younger, or I don't know. I usually get clients who just like to dress up and be feminine for the day, and then they just want to go home and just forget about it. They're my clients. They're the ones that I get. They don't really live it 24/7. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for me, anytime I do anything like that, I prefer to have the dom, the female dom, or several female doms to make me do it. You know,
Yeah, like
like,
forced feminization. Yeah,
yeah, and I'm not feminine. I don't act feminine. I'm just submissive. You know what I
no,
mean?
yeah.
Anything like that. Now, um, on your website, you talk about safe words. What are the safe words you use?
I've been using this for forever. I like to keep it pretty simple. I use the colors of the traffic light.
Oh yeah.
So I don't really use anything else. I just think once you say colors of the traffic lights, it's very easy for your sub or your slave to remember that. So during when we're playing, I will I would say, how are your colors? How are your
Oh,
colors? That's all I
very
say. How are your colors? And they're like green, green,
good.
green. Some of them say amber or orange, which doesn't really happen much, but it just means they just want to slow down whatever we're doing. And no one's ever said red to me. So, which is good.
Yeah, definitely. For some reason in America, a lot of people use food, like apple or watermelon or pine.
Yeah,
I don't understand why. But
yeah.
my favorite word is moonlight.
Or mercy.
Moonlight.
Mercy, give me more.
Yeah. Now, there's one thing you do not
I do not what?
see couples.
No.
Yeah, why is that?
Because I just find them to be hard work.
Okay.
Um, well, through my experiences with couples, at the end of the day, it's always been about having a threesome, which that's not something I do. Um, Also, there's always been alcohol involved where they're already intoxicated or they've been drinking because they're nervous and they come to see me. And I refuse to see anyone who's been drinking or under the influence of drugs. So it never goes down well because it's like the man is trying to tell the woman what to do and vice versa. And especially if I've never met them before, It's really hard to sort of work out a style of session for a couple. I mean, it's bad enough trying to organize a session with just the one person, because I do a lot of preparation, but then having to do it for two people, um, it's it's not easy. So it's just been my experiences, and I I find that it's always been sexual, where the male might want me to interact with his female partner like very sexually, and I don't do that. So I just I just stopped doing them.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let's talk about going through the process of vetting people. Um,
Betting?
Vetting, meaning like choosing to make sure that like you, yes, I can do this. I can work with this person. I don't want you to give away your secret, but what are certain things that you do to make sure that the person is okay with you?
Oh, I didn't really get what you said. Sorry.
Okay, what are some of the things, someone you've never met before?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you do? And you don't have to give away the concept, but just like what are some safety precautions and things that you're like, okay, this person's okay.
All right. Okay. I have been very lucky in my years of being in this industry. So I'm very particular with who I see. I don't do same day bookings. And because I take deposits, once a deposit is paid, then I forward the client a questionnaire where they're able to tell me everything about their fantasy, their session, their limitations, their anything health wise that they feel that I should know, and they can add as much as they like, because I don't actually talk about the session on the day they come in. I don't have that consultation. I have the questionnaire. They send it to me a week before the session. I have a good read of it. I go over a scenario in my head. I set up the room, and I make sure that I don't go over their limitations. I read it properly. Yeah, so when they come in, it's like bang into the whole role play, and they like that because it's like, yeah, rather than coming in having a consultation like at your doctor's. Like, I don't do that. I don't. I just like to go straight into it.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah, it's more fun. It's more fun.
Okay, so gloves. Now, I'm really beginning into femdom with gloves. There's all different kinds. There's the medical kind, there's the BDSM kind, there's you name it. What is it about gloves? And gloves turn me on like crazy. What is it
Really?
about? Oh
The
God!
gloves turn you on?
Oh,
Really? Not that?
oh, it's driving me crazy now. I
Well,
love
if I could reach in there, Nicholas, and spank your bottom for getting my name wrong, I will use these very silky gloves on you.
we're fixing the banner. We're fixing the banner. Don't worry.
No, I'm just joking. I love gloves. I have a session later on today with a new cross-dressing client, so this sort of goes with the pink flowers on my dress. But I have leather gloves. I have biking gloves. I have gloves that are, cut off at the fingers. I have all different sorts of gloves. I just think they're very stylish, very feminine, you know. And if you're having a bad nail day, you just kind of cover them, and you can't tell, can you?
You know, one of the things with sissies, especially, is that a lot of the a lot of the doms use gloves because like, they're actual physical flesh hands on touching them. You know what I mean? Um, it makes it very clinical and just like, especially like when they milk them. You know what I mean? I don't know. I got a for gloves. All
Do you
right.
like
So,
rubber gloves? You like rubber gloves as in like in medical play? Is that what you mean?
well, any kind of glove.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gloves are good. You should always use gloves.
My dom's a vet tech, and she gets gloves all the time. So she's just like, she's always got gloves. She's always got some kind of glove on her, and they're black. They're black. Yeah,
Black. Yeah, black ones are nice.
yeah, like these, and they're not long, but they're like,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. They're good. They're also expensive, aren't they?
All right, so you were on tour. Tell us about that.
I went on tour. Oh yes. Uh, well,
Do
I
you have
did
any
go
more
on
tour dates
tour.
coming up?
Sorry,
Do you have any more tour dates coming up?
I do.
All right, promote it.
I don't have the date set,
Okay.
but I am planning to visit Adelaide again. A couple of months ago, when I came back from the UK, I was there for 8 months, and I thought I'm going to come back to Australia and tour, and that went quite well, though I didn't get to go to Perth. Sorry, Perth. But yeah, it went really, really well, and I got really sick, and yeah, it's just very tiring. And at the time, a lot of emotional stuff was coming up because I originally went back to the UK because my best friend, Mistress Demetra, passed away. So I had to pack my house, leave everything in storage, and go to the UK and say goodbye to her. Yeah, and that was like 10 months ago. Um, then I was planning to come back to Oz and sell all my cross-dressing stuff, all this, everything, because I thought, I think I just want to change. But after my tour, I sort of changed my mind. I went into my storage unit and I thought, oh, I've got a lot of stuff and I don't want to get rid of it. And it's my baby, so I reopened Fluffy Boudoir. But
Yeah, they
yeah,
need you.
what's that?
They need you. People like you give.
Yes, they do. They
Yeah,
do.
people like you give sissies and cross-dressers hope. You know what I mean? Even though you're
Yeah.
it still gives you hope. It gives people hope. All right, so please forgive me. Are you in a personal relationship right now?
You gonna what? Sorry.
Are you in a personal relationship right now?
No,
Oh, okay.
I've not been in a relationship for a very long time. I just I don't think I have the time, to be honest. Well, I haven't had the time, and I'm not much of a social person. So when I do have time off, I'd rather just stay at home. But I'm sort of working towards being a little bit more sociable, and getting to meet people because I really don't fancy going online and meeting someone on a chat room. And I'm more of a one-to-one person. And
okay.
besides, it's really hard for me to join these dating sites because the last thing I want people to know is what I do, because then you end up attracting people that you don't want. So yeah, it's really hard.
I would imagine, because most of I know a lot of women who are into fembom and sissification and stuff like that, and I'm lucky to know them.
You are. You
Yeah,
are.
I'm very lucky to know them and to be friends with them and to have played with them. But they get bombarded. They get bombarded with messages like, I want to be your slave. Make
Yeah.
me a sissy slut. Make me. So
Yeah.
I think we probably talked about this in the last interview, but for someone who wants to approach you or someone like you, what advice would you give them?
If they approach me in person,
Or online, or just someone who's into the same thing you're in.
I didn't get that. Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Of course, no problem.
Sorry, this is the
It's
volume.
okay. If you get a lot of messages,
Yeah.
saying like, "Make me your sissy slave,"
Yeah.
"Make me your sissy slut,"
Yeah.
and sometimes they don't even say please.
No, I
You know what I
know.
mean? So for somebody who wants to explore this kink, how do they approach it? How do they approach you or someone like you?
How do they approach me? Um, the only way to approach me is via email.
Of course.
Okay. Because I don't put my phone number out anywhere. They approach me by email, and they should really address me by my correct name. Some of them don't even address you by your name at all.
Dominatrix V.
I know, right? Um, yeah, they don't. They don't even. Yeah, they get a bit demanding, and they tell you what they want. So apparently, it's all about them, but it's not really, is it?
Interesting. Yeah, because it's called femdom.
Yeah, but a lot of those, I don't get a lot of those because they're a lot of the younger boys who don't know much about femdom, and I'm very old school, so and manners goes a long, long way, and just the way they write to me, if it's just a few words or one line sentence, usually I don't reply, but I sort of look at the email and I sort of get a good idea or a good feeling about a person, and I think, okay, they might be just new and they don't know how they should speak to you or address you. So it's my job to reply to them and correct them, and hopefully they're smart enough to learn. And you know, but some of them I don't answer because I just feel that even spelling mistakes, I'm very funny with spelling mistakes. It's just I'm very funny.
Yeah, mine was an English teacher, so grammar and spelling very
Hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, very important.
All right, we have a segment which you participated in the past. BDSM on a budget. Do you have any ideas for people who don't have money, who still want to be kinky?
BDSM on a budget. You know what, Nicholas? I have been very fortunate, very, very lucky to have had people give me a lot of stuff, implements, clothes, the whole cross-dressing wardrobe. I think I bought like 5 things in there. The rest of it was things that were given to me. So I've been very, very lucky there. But I guess BDSM on a budget. I don't know. What can you do? You can go to your local supermarket, or what's that shop called? That Bunnings. Do you have Bunnings?
No, we don't have that.
Have you heard of Bunnings?
No, I haven't. Is it like a
Massive. Yeah, it's huge. Kind of a warehouse type of place, and you get everything in there, from rope to you know hairbrushes, everything you can use. Yeah, you just got to use your imagination, really.
that's great advice.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a segment here that um, when we did the interview in the past, we didn't have this segment, and it's
Oh.
called Fire Recommendation. So,
Right.
and it doesn't have to be kink related.
So you want me to recommend?
Those glasses are awesome.
I can see you better. I can see you better. It's just I didn't want the glare, but anyway, it's better
It's
if I
great.
leave them
No,
on.
I got a thing for glasses. I do, especially black frames. Yeah. So, all right. Recommend a movie.
Oh, can I recommend two?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. I've got them right here. Number one is my all-time favorite, and that is Preaching to the Perverted.
Love that movie.
I
Guinevere,
think I've seen it like 50 times already.
awesome movie.
Yeah, isn't it great? And my all-time classic, I mean, I do love cult classic horror. I like anything with vampires. But I do, this is not a horror, but it is a classic. It's called Faster Pussycat Kill Kill.
Oh God,
Isn't it great?
yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Oh, good.
I love it.
Classic.
Love it, love it.
All right. Recommended book.
Of course, I'm going to recommend a book that I am in. So this was written by a lovely lady. She's an Australian author, and she goes by the name of Anne Onomus. It's called The History and Arts of the Dominatrix.
Ooh, I gotta check that out.
Have you not seen it? Have you not read it?
No, I have not read it. I'm definitely gonna check it out though.
Well, make sure you go to page 196. It's got me in it. There you go.
Oh, sweet. Oh, you got a French maid.
Yeah, it's a few years old, but awesome book, and I'm so thankful and I feel privileged to be in this classic. It's going to be, I love it.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you. And can I recommend one more book?
Of course.
Oh, okay. I recommend Your Kinky Friends by Nicholas Tanek, and if you haven't read this book, you're living under a rock. Great read. I really enjoyed it. I love the way he writes, and very honest, very raw. Yeah, brought a few tears to my eyes, so you should read it.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, I'm so glad you read it. All right. Recommend a television show.
Oh, Nicholas, I don't watch television.
Okay.
Television tells lies to your vision.
All right. Recommend a meal.
All right, I am a vegan, so I recommend anything that's healthy and, as long as it doesn't involve the killing of animals, and that's what I can recommend. And I recommend the 7-day vegan challenge.
Okay.
If you're a meat eater, I really recommend it.
And finally, this is a loaded one. Recommend anything.
Recommend anything?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to recommend new ladies that enter the industry, mainly ladies who call themselves mistresses or dominatrixes, anything to do with another client and having to deal with a person one-to-one. I really recommend that they do their homework, they do their research, they practice as much as possible, and that they're very, very careful with what they do, because I'm seeing so many clips out at the moment, and yeah, it just blows my mind what I'm seeing at the moment. And I pray that no one gets hurt. So if you're a new lady, I totally recommend that, if you want to get into this industry, make sure you get into it for the right reasons, because it shouldn't definitely not be about the money, because sometimes there's no money coming in. So
And make some friends. Like,
and yeah, it is hard. It is hard to find
sex work
another.
is work.
Sorry.
Sex work is actually work.
Yeah. Well, I particularly don't refer myself as a sex worker. I'm more of a adult worker. I know
Okay.
there's a lot of people out there that would disagree with that, but I don't have sex with my clients, so I feel that I'm not under the sex worker, genre. But I know what you mean, and it is hard work. It is a lot of work, and you really got to enjoy it. Especially if you plan to put yourself out there with filming, and photos. Be very careful with the content you put out there, because once it's out there, it's there for life.
Definitely. Okay. So this is the last segment, and we're gonna get silly.
Okay.
Okay. It's word association. I'm gonna say a word or a phrase.
Okay.
You say the first word.
Okay.
So if I say man, if I say chastity, you could say lock. But let's say you're hungry. If I say chastity, first thing that pops in your head, pizza. Okay. Say pizza.
Okay. I hope I can hear you loud and clear when you do this.
All right. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Okay.
So, yeah, the first rule is say the first thing that pops into your head.
Yeah, I know that bit. I just hope I can hear the words you say.
Okay. Now,
All right. I'm
second
ready.
rule: we don't kink shame. So if I say
Absolutely
something,
no king shaming.
yeah, all right. And then there's the jar.
Oh God. Oh God.
Tangled Blue, Tangled Blue, I love you. She sent me a jar full of little pieces of paper. I don't know what's in this jar. I don't know it.
Yeah. All right.
And everything. We love nonsense and absurdity and silliness.
Oh
And
yeah, absolutely.
this is all off the top of my head too. So
Okay.
this is no plan. Okay. All right. Pegging.
Pegging. Love it.
Chastity.
Oh, I wish I had more guys doing that. Yeah.
Sploshing.
Oh, I've got one coming up very soon. He wants shaving cream all over his face, but he also wants me to mention I think he said cream pie or something. That's his fetish word. So that'll be my first blushing that I do.
Face slapping.
Oh, yes, please.
Choking.
Oh, in excess.
There's a
Did you get that one? Did you get that one?
Yeah. Oh, I got that one. There's a documentary
Really?
coming out about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks good. It got like a lot of underground footage too. Right. Straight jackets.
Leather.
All right. Latex.
Shiny, shiny, right down behind me. I love it. Remember that song?
Yeah.
No.
The Itachi magic wand.
Oh, I actually have one now, and I love it.
Oh, it's great.
I love it. Great.
The violet wand.
Oh, I've got this antique violet wand. Where is it? It doesn't work, but it's from Germany. It's an original one. Oh, it's beautiful.
Wow. Okay.
I know.
French maid outfit.
Oh, I've got loads. I've got loads. It's still coming.
I gotta cut it myself.
You should dress up one day.
All right. I'm going to the jar.
Oh, all the way to the bottom of the jar.
All right. Masturbation.
Masturbation. What's that thing that you were talking about? The wand?
Yeah, the violet wand. Oh, the magic
The other one. Yeah.
magic wand.
Magic wand.
Spread eagle.
Spread eagle. I've got no knickers on. I haven't.
Cock.
Cock. I'm a cock because I'm a rooster.
Oh, this is an interesting one. Boing.
Boing, boing is what happened this morning when we were trying to connect, right? For 1 hour trying to connect.
I know. Oh, I'm so sorry. Technical thing.
Not your fault. Okay. Shit happens.
Yeah. Spork.
Spork. Spork or spark? What's
Spork.
spork? What does that mean?
Spork is one of those plastic spoons that have the teeth that it's kind of like a half fork, half spoon.
Is that what you use for spaghetti?
I
No.
guess. You don't have those in Australia? Okay.
I don't cook, so.
All right. Glisten.
Glisten. Glisten. Isn't that a song? Glisten. Okay. Shiny. I don't know.
Nips.
Nips. Nip and tuck. Nips. I don't know.
All right. Lube.
Sorry?
Lube.
Lube?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it.
Really? Okay. All right.
Well, I hate the messy stuff, you know.
Okay.
I prefer what is it? That cooking stuff that you use for lube. You know what it's called?
No, lube. Like, fuck people.
Yeah.
All right. Wax play.
I use Crisco for lube.
Oh, okay.
You know, Crisco comes in a little blue tub.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I use. I hate lube. It's just really yucky and sticky and yeah.
Gloves.
Gloves, darling. Step into my world.
Wax play.
Wax play. Yeah. A little bit messy for me.
Okay. Fire play.
Oh, I'd love to do fire play.
Okay. Branding.
Branding, a must.
All right, we did chastity. All right. Piss play.
Oh, I get so many requests. Yes, bring it on.
Okay. And finally, we've come to the end. Scat.
Not for me.
Okay. No
I
worries.
find it interesting. I find it really interesting, but yeah, not for me.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. Oh my God, Dominatrix V, thank you so much for coming back and doing this interview. I just want to promote everything about you. Promote everything: your Twitter, your Snapchat, your Instagram, your tour.
Oh, there is so much to say. So, I've only just reconnected my Instagram account. I'm not sure if I'll stay on it, but we'll see. But of course, I'm on Facebook. Of course, I'm on so many things. If they go to your website, they can see all the links, right?
Oh yeah, right.
But it's all mainly under the House of V Fetish Studio. So if you just ask Google, and Google will take you to my house.
Yeah, check out the links.
Yeah.
Dominatrix V from the House of V.
From House of V Fetish Studio.
And the Fluffy Boudoir.
And Fluffy Boudoir.
She's a legend. So support her. And yeah, check me out on Twitter, Tanek. Check me out on Instagram at Nick Tanek. Check me out on Facebook. Um, check out our secret group on Discord, and also our group on Facebook. YKF it's called. Just yeah, it's getting late, my friends.
I know you must be so tired, and thank you for asking me again. It's been lovely chatting with you, Nicholas, and let's catch up in 12 months' time, shall we?
Oh, we shall,
Are you writing another book?
actually, yeah.
Woohoo!
I, I,
Okay.
I started writing a book. It's called so far the working title is Sex, Wine, and Ibuprofen.
Oh, I like that. I look forward to reading it.
it's
That's good.
it's gonna be yeah, and I started editing it recently, and I'm like, I kind of get worked up. I get really worked up, and I'm just like, oh, this is good, and I gotta fix
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I just get on the keyboard.
Well
So
done.
hopefully we'll make it happen. And it's the majority is a tribute to the Don who I live
Yeah.
with, but it's also a tribute to friendship and their little stories um, involved, about growing older. So
Oh, cool.
it's yeah. What I want to do, I want to make it like really kind of weird and funny. You know what I mean? So
Wonderful.
yeah, just stand around for like 30 seconds. Everybody, check out yourkinkyfriend.com,
Yeah.
and definitely support Dominatrix V. Check out Fluffy Boudoir. You will not be disappointed by anything she does. Trust me. Yeah.
I
You know,
try.
yeah. Mm, especially the men who are into like the whole dressing certification. This is someone you want. This is someone
Well,
I pay for. These are the movies you want to watch. These are yeah. All right.
wonderful.
It's getting late.
Yeah, I know.
My Dom is calling me, and remember the final rule. Be cool, be kind, and keep an open mind.
Peace.
V.
See ya.